everyone, this is video 2 of our party. This is one on shared reading. I like to think of shared reading as when you invite all of your kids to come sit on your lap or around you in your reading nook and just share a story and the beautiful experience that can be. The first one that I have is B for Bedtime, and it's a nice little bedtime storybook, but it goes through the alphabet. It has these really nice, thick, sturdy pages so they won't rip, and offers these really cute little sayings about each letter in preparing for bedtime. And in the end, she goes to sleep, and she catches some Z's. So that's a really cute book. The next one is our complete book of Farmer Tales. I had mentioned this in the first video with the animal seek and find, or hide and seek animals. And this is the farm that book takes place on. So this is a combined volume, and what that means is that there are 20 stories in one binding. So the combined volume means that there's lots of stories under one binding. So that's what this is. It has a nice soft cover and a ribbon to mark your place. Like I just showed you, it comes with a CD. Here's the table of contents. Again, 20 different stories in one binding. This is actually what we like to consider a dual reader. What that means is that you can, your child and you both have a part to read. So your beginner reader or your independent reader can read the line on the top. You can read the text on the bottom, and this just offers more information. It's not necessary to the story, so if your child wants to read on their own, they can just read the top, and the story makes complete sense. Now, when you have an independent reader, they can read both the top and the bottom, and it just offers a lot more information about the story. So this is a Stephen Cartwright book, and what that means is in all of his illustrations, he has this little duck here that hides. So once you're done reading the story, you can go back and you can find all of the little ducks in his picture. So here's the other one. So again, a great value for your money. You're getting 20 stories in one book. The next one is My Very First Book. Now we have two other titles like this. One is called My Very First Space Book, and then the other one is about the world. I like these because, again, they're these kind of flimsy cardboard pages, so they're not going to rip or anything. But my 3-year-old son likes this, not just because they're dinosaurs, but because there's bite-sized information here. So under the title on each page, you're going to see this little kind of like header of information right here. And for my 3-year-old son, this is all he needs. This is all he can sit for on one page. Now, as your child grows, you can add in some of these other pieces of information. And it's the same in the other two books, the Space Book and the Around the World book. And it's a really pretty informative book as well. I'm a Hungry Dinosaur is one of my son's favorites also because, again, it has to do with dinosaurs, but it has a really great rhythm to it. And we have another one like this. It's called I'm a Dirty Dinosaur. And the cool thing about I'm a Hungry Dinosaur is if you'll see on the cover, and then I'll show you some pages, all of the illustrations were actually drawn with frosting. So it's a really neat way to do some of the drawings. So you can see over here that this is all frosting, all this brown stuff is frosting. I'm going to read a few pages to you so that you kind of get the feel of the book. I'm a hungry dinosaur with a hungry tum. I'll shake and stir and mix and beat and make a cake that's yum. Shake, shake, stir, stir, make a cake that's yum. And so the whole book is like that. It has this really nice rhythm to it, and the kids can start to participate once they read it enough and they learn the lines. They can start to help you read it. Our illustrated stories is one of our more popular books. We have a lot of different kinds of illustrated stories. So we have one on ghost stories and one on Shakespeare. There's one on Greek gods, and there's one on princes and princesses and adventures, and just all kinds of different things like that. So again, this is really nice, soft cover, a bookmark to keep track of where you are. And it goes through, here's the content, so it has a different story on every couple pages. I've read all of these, so now I know all of the classic Charles Dickens stories. Really great illustrations. This is kind of a little more advanced. We have other illustrated books for younger readers, but this one is a little more advanced because you'll see there's not a lot of pictures. I mean, there is pictures on every page, but there's still a lot of text to it as well. The cool thing about this is that the chapters have a very clean break at the end, so if you're using it as like a bedtime reading, then all you have to do is just put your bookmark in and don't have to worry about continuing on because there's no cliffhangers or anything like that. Again, great illustrations and just a lot of fun to read with your readers. Jonathan James and the What If Monster. My son loves this book just because the kid's name is Jonathan. So what happens in this story is there's a little boy, and he has all of these fears about what he's doing, and his what if monster here is feeding those fears. So he says, if you make a painting, it's gonna stink and no one's gonna like it. If you eat that linguine, it's just gonna be gross. But then he kind of has this aha moment where he's like, wait a second, I think I'm really going to enjoy all of these things. So he starts to participate in all of the activities he was afraid of at first. So he climbs to the top of the tree, and he loves what he can see up there. He draws his painting, and everyone loves it. And he eats the shrimp linguine, and it was delicious. So this is a great book for those kids who have maybe some fears that they don't really know how to control, and it just kind of teaches them how to confront your fears and to get over it. Dan the Taxi Man. This is another great book with a really great rhythm. It also teaches kids kind of some sounds that some instruments make. So Dan here is going to pick up a band so they can play a show, and he picks up Maureen first, and she has a tambourine, and so this is what hers sounds like. Stop! Here comes Maureen with her tambourine. Shake a shake crash, shake a shake crash. And so he goes to pick up all the other members of the band, and they have their own instruments, and then the instruments make a sound, and the kids can help with that too. A really great rhythm to that as well. Nibbles the Book Monster, he is notorious. He is just uncontrollable. We've tried to cage him, and we've tried to keep him under wraps, but you know what? He can't do it. He breaks free all the time. And what he really likes to do is he really likes to eat books. So he climbs into our library here, and he starts eating all the books. And then as you go through, he's eating all kinds of our classic stories. So here's Goldilocks. He's done with her, so he moves on to Little Red Riding Hood. This is a great book because it's first really silly and really creative, but it just it kind of has a new way to introduce some of those old classics that we all love, and to help our children to remember what some of the old classics were about. But guess what? We cage him at the end and we keep him under wraps. Or so we thought. Oh no, he's not there. Where is he? He escaped again. So we don't know where he is. I love that book. It's so fun. This is probably my favorite shared reading book. A Tale of Two Beasts is really funny because it comes from both of these characters' perspectives. So first you find this little girl, and she's walking through the woods, and she sees this animal just hanging there, and she feels sorry for him, so she takes him home. She makes him wear a scarf because he looks cold. She puts him in a little house here, gives him a bath. And then she tells all of her friends about him, but one day she opens the window, and guess what? He escapes. And she's really sad, and he comes back. And then they go have fun. Now, this one is the perspective of the animal. So then he finds this human, and he's, minding his own business, having a good time, and then she steals him, and she captures him, and she ties him up in her scarf, and all kinds of stuff, and then she puts him in jail with this lion, and she shows him to all of her friends, and they're all poking at him, and he's not having it. So what does he do? He waits for the perfect moment where she opens the window and he escapes, and then he comes back. It's really cute. So again, a really funny story, a really nice way to get that shared reading time in. Well, thank you, and I will see you back at the Facebook party. Bye.